Hi.
I'm just here.
How's everybody tonight?
We got an awesome show for you.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be super tactical.
Super. Because of the tactical jackets. What's up, everybody? This is episode 30 of the Grim 86 Freedom First podcast. We're back again. My name is Krash.
Yeah, I'm Johnny Doe, and here's Johnny.
Johnny,
You know that,
danger.
and you know that all work, no play, makes Johnny Doe a dull boy.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, it's a true story.
It happens.
If you didn't know.
How many quotes are you trying to get in on this one?
2.
Just 2. Okay, all right. Keep them running.
I'm Batman. Aaron this year.
Aaron Danger, second show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. And
Love
it looks like it's a tactical Thursday because of our jacket. We got the little the patchy patchy
soft shell Thursday.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There we go. Got my smiley on.
Eat your heart out.
Speaking of eating your heart out, we got another Taco Bell story for you guys.
Oh,
Yummy.
Taco Bell in the news once again. Go ahead and pop over here real quick.
Yeah.
So, Taco Bell, again, saving lives with their hot sauce.
Yeah, well, what else would they do? I mean, that's definitely what they do.
I mean, not only do they provide sustenance and
nourishment.
Yeah. It's they're saving lives. You know
That
what I
one's debatable. Nourishment is debatable.
It's debatable. He's already using the
the
he's already
terminology.
using the hashtags. I like it. I like it. We knew this was going to be a good match.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to
Yeah,
explain it?
so a guy was eating his Taco Bell delicious dinner, and
Probably having a crunch wrap or something.
he mistaken.
A gordita.
He made a mistake. He didn't get his hot sauce first, but it wasn't really a mistake because when he got up to go get it, a vehicle crashed right into the business where he was sitting. So Taco Bell's hot sauce saved another life again.
Once again. Look at that.
Yeah.
I guess the dude thought that it was in reverse and mashed on the gas and it just fucking drove right
Yeah.
to the building.
But did he, though? I mean, I don't know.
Did he, though?
Yeah. He forgot his hot sauce too, maybe.
He needed to make a speedy
No, I want the fire.
a speedy recovery.
Yeah. So there you go.
They are on that Diablo sauce now. I will
Yeah.
I will shout out to Diablo sauce.
How is that?
I like it. I mean, it's hotter than the fire sauce, but it's got a different flavor to it.
Okay, because I don't think the fire sauce is really fire. I
Yeah.
don't think it's that hot.
Yeah. It helps you spray paint your toilet brown if you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fire sauce was hot when I was like in high school, and then now I'm like, no, the inside of my mouth is fucking numb.
Yeah, you're numb to it now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's calloused. It's been lived in.
Yeah. So the fire sauce, spray paints a toilet, and the next story we were going to talk about is it kind of goes along with this whole toilet thing.
It does.
Yeah.
It
So
does.
there's a challenge that we found out about on Twitter.
Oh God!
I didn't know about this
can't-
challenge.
I can't. You guys, like, please don't fucking lick toilets. Don't do
I seen
it.
this and I thought it was like, oh look, I'm being cute. I didn't know it was a challenge. I didn't know people were dumb enough to really.
So
Think about that.
We're a little like, I'm just gonna go out there and say I know that we're like behind on this one. This is
Yeah.
not a new challenge,
Yeah.
but
New to us.
this is just some bullshit. Like, people on Twitter are licking toilet seats, not seats, licking the rim of the toilet, and we're just here, see for yourselves.
Oh,
I can't.
The porcelain lip of it. Oh,
I guess.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't.
gonna have to just see for look at. I just
Oh God, bro.
wait. Is that the seat?
I don't know. It looks like it's the. Oh, it's a seat.
Yeah, it's a seat.
It
But
doesn't.
Is that
matter.
worse? I think that's
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, it tastes like Taco Bell.
Oh, good. She's got that fucking Snapchat filter on there.
Good lord.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it makes
sorry.
it look way cuter.
I misgender identified this person
Sure,
by
yeah,
implying that it's a her.
I don't know what's going on there, but
Yeah, I don't either. So for whatever reason, also this article like felt the need to explain that she's gender fluid. Which I don't. I mean,
she's looking at toilet seat.
like
That's
fu-
all
like,
we need to know.
Yeah, like
Or
neat. You
the
know, like I
person.
don't give a shit. But why bring sexuality into
licking
it?
toilet seats.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't care which bathroom you're in, you're still a fucking gross piece of shit.
But as
Like,
as a sex worker, a gender fluid sex worker, what kind of clientele do you have?
That's a good fucking point. I'm like, you know what? Surprise me. Like, that's what they said on the phone?
You know what, Jamie? That's amazing.
Bring the donkey in. It's
That's
all right.
amazing.
Interspecies erotica. That's weird. Like,
Yeah, no, this is all
is
weird. Like, I don't
Like,
understand
you like
this.
blondes, brunettes, men, women. You know what? Just surprise me.
Yeah, what happened to back in the day when the challenge was like, hey, I dare you to do whatever. It was something stupid, like, go run up to such and such and push them and then run back or whatever. It's like stupid things. Now it's licking fucking toilet seats.
Do you guys remember the knockout challenge?
oh, dude, that was
brutal.
That was brutal. But that was so pointless. Like, why are you gonna go up to a total
All
stranger?
these challenges are stupid.
Remember the water challenge, the ice water
The
challenge,
ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, that's what started it. No, like, or the planking. We're gonna.
Well,
plank
yeah.
on
So
this.
planking, and then there was owling.
Oh.
And then there, well, okay. So the ice bucket challenge actually had a purpose.
There was
that
a
one,
it was a charity thing, right?
ALS. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, that's
ALS was the.
Those are just so you guys know at home, those are your brakes so you don't like lock up your brakes when you're going into Yeah.
I thought that's ABS.
Okay, yeah,
And then
it's
It's a challenge just
You'll-
to
yeah,
make
you'll-
sure your vehicle doesn't lock up.
you'll
try it. Just try it.
You'll get the hang of it, Aaron. Don't worry. You'll get the hang of it. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if you guys saw Patrick Stewart do the ice bucket challenge, but he had an ice bucket in which he had a chilled.
Yeah, that scene in Dirty Dancing was really crazy.
It's
when
a
he
totally,
did,
totally different scene.
Oh.
Totally. I don't know.
Patrick Swayze was. The
Patrick
one,
Swayze?
yeah. I just
Patrick
missed,
Stewart.
I forgot.
God damn it.
Yeah, I got
You
confused.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So Sir Patrick Stewart, he had a ice bucket, and it was actually like a hotel ice bucket in which he had a chilled adult beverage, I think, if I remember correctly. And he poured himself like a glass of scotch, and then he just wrote a check because that was the whole fucking point of the whole thing was to raise money for ALS, which I can't remember what it stands for. But
I love scotch.
down.
me belly.
That's good that you remember that because I did not remember that till you said that.
I love
Yeah, he
that.
straight up wrote a check and was like, "That's how you do the ice bucket challenge."
And his ass did cash that one. So,
He probably did.
yeah.
He probably did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, making fucking. Okay, this is kind of cool. Slap over here real quick. Company called Water Gen. They are actually making water out of air. So, and I'm not going to say thin air,
Right,
anything
right,
stupid
yeah.
like that, because obviously there's hydrogen in air, right? So you're getting hydrogen and oxygen,
Yeah.
making it into water. Anyway, this is not a new technology. Through dehumidifying and through other various technologies, they've been able to do this before. However, this is the first company to do it for 3 to 4 cents per liter. So it is the most efficient way to do
efficient,
it monetarily.
cost effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but they also have like do-it-yourself kits on like Instructables on how to do that.
Do they really?
Yeah, dude, I've seen it. It's awesome. Where you could just basically make your own. It takes the moisture out of the air and it just liquefies it. And
I mean, technically, like people who get dehumidifiers from like wherever, electronics store or whatever, don't those do the same thing? They pull the moisture out of the air literally.
Yeah.
Because like they have retaining tanks that have water in them after, and you have to empty that shit. Like, yeah. As a matter of fact, fuck these guys. This is not new. This is bullshit.
Well, it was just like they said. It was the
Did
fastest.
this turn into a prep show all this?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the
oh,
fuck?
Shit. Hey, you learned something today.
That is pretty cool though.
Dehumidifier,
Yeah.
water maker.
So-
Do it.
Can you drink that though?
And they were also, this company was taking this whatever unit it is that they're using to do this with, but they're taking this to the different, like the floods and the fires and different things that are happening. So they're trying to give water.
So it's mobile.
Yeah.
So they're like a disaster unit.
Kind of, sort of.
kinda.
That's kind of what they're doing. with
That's
it.
pretty fucking
Yeah,
sweet.
it's cool.
I did read that the guy said that he's basically trying to make his God happy and his people happy.
Yeah,
and his people flourish and
yeah.
stuff. So that's all. Hey, dude, if that's what you get out of religion is to like fucking help people and help the planet, fucking that's one good thing
Yeah,
that
this
came
guy
of
just
it.
said, "Fuck you, Nestle."
Right?
Remember Nestle was
Straight
like,
up.
"Oh, water's not a human right." It's all, fuck you. Yeah, it is, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's life, right?
We got to
So-
get one of those things up to fucking Flint in fucking Michigan, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you guys heard
Start a
Jaden
fire
Smith.
real quick.
I mean, you guys heard Jaden Smith is over there bringing clean water to the residents of Flint, right?
Is he really?
He's
Yeah.
just delivering it out there. And
Yeah, well, dude, he's bringing. I mean, he's doing more than the fucking government is.
well, yeah.
well, more than anybody is. I mean, he's actually doing something other than just sitting on his ass like, oh, look at Flint. What are we doing?
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
and
that's pretty cool to know that like he's got the means to do it and he's out there fucking helping.
And he's
That's
just
pretty
doing
sweet.
it.
that's crazy. That wasn't the government.
Shout out Jaden Smith. You're awesome. Love you in Karate Kid.
That's so weird. So weird how.
So weird without having government steal your money and.
Who would do nice things like that for other people?
Oh, no one. Apparently, that's what we hear.
Yeah,
all
apparently,
the
if
time.
everything's voluntary,
Right.
nobody does anything. They
Right,
just want to sit
yeah.
around on their ass and collect free shit. Fucking socialists.
Oh yeah.
And that's what they fucking. They look at us like we're the fucking weird ones.
Yeah.
That pisses
Yeah.
me right
Well,
off.
we are, but.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
And they're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
But are they though?
But are they though? Okay, so the next one we got here is some real Jurassic Park shit. So apparently, I'm gonna go ahead and swap over here. They are literally doing what they did in fucking Jurassic Park with the woolly mammoth by using DNA from bone marrow, and they're injecting them into mouse eggs, and they're starting to actually fucking make progress towards bringing back and birthing a fucking legit woolly mammoth. This is fucking insane.
You want Jurassic Park? This is how you get.
How you get Jurassic Park?
You want dinosaurs? This is how you get dinosaurs. There was
Fuck.
literally how many movies on this?
Right. Well, we were talking about this before the show. How many times do you have to watch science fiction to understand where everything is going? Because that's, we were joking, but it is kind of true, right?
It's leading. It's like, hey, this is what's going on. Look at the, and it happens. Look at Star Trek. Little boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
The telecorders, tablets, all that other stuff. Google Glass.
And that's why Kenny's not here, because we beamed him up, and we haven't been able to figure out how to get him back.
It happens.
Shout out to Kenny.
Shout out to Kenny. Yeah, there it is. Hey-o.
Hey.
We miss you, big guy.
We miss you, Sugar Bear. That's
Yeah.
your new name, Sugar Bear.
All right. Well, is there anything else about this, or was it just kind of just
No, just a quick shot. I just wanted to say that like
dinosaurs?
that's fucking crazy.
But wouldn't that be like cloning too? Like, isn't there like a Geneva Convention against that?
Well, cloning is a little bit. Well, I get technically, actually, you're not wrong because it is not like it's not like we're making a brand new, like a birthed animal. They'd be making a copy of one that already existed. Yeah, technically, I think it would be
Human
cloning.
is different though, but I'm not sure. I don't know. We don't.
No, I think that if they were to do that, it's a clone. It's a clone of what it was originally because they're taking the exact DNA and they're injecting it into. Well, no, because then the DNA goes into this mouse egg and it creates a new organism. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to answer that question.
Yeah, we are into science, but we're not scientists.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
that's the difference.
I'm too dumb for that.
It's over our pay grade.
That blew my fucking mind right now. Just saying it out loud.
Science. Bro.
Yeah, Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
science, dude.
I mean, honestly,
Wow.
I mean,
Hashtag look it up.
What's so far off from like some 6 Days type shit or some the Island type shit to where it's like you got clones running around, you could just, I mean, if they could transfer your consciousness.
Yeah. What was it? Did you see that TV show Altered Carbon?
I started watching that, but then Netflix is kind of like.
I watched it. I liked it. It was pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
pretty good.
I'll-
You kind of have to
I'll
get
check it
through
out.
a little bit to kind of get used to what the hell's going on.
There's some bullshit.
Yeah, it was
basically.
it gets good though. It was cool. It's a bunch of like basically clone. You like get a different body and you can keep putting your consciousness into different bodies and stuff.
Like the surrogate
Yeah,
concept,
Yeah,
basically.
so it was pretty cool. It was
All right.
weird. It was a fucking weird show. But it was good.
Shit, I will check that out then.
Yeah.
There it is.
Alrighty. So we have this our first topic here, and Jamie.
Yeah, so I kind of got into it today on social media.
Imagine
and-
that.
Yeah, isn't that so
I think
weird?
that is the first time that's ever happened on this show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like it's 100% of the
we
episodes
got a
we talk
fucking
about
bug
that.
in the command bunker.
I think you
here.
fucking
I
got him. I think you fucking got
Ninja.
it. That was
Daniel
awesome.
Command bunker, bro.
Woo! You got to add like a like a sound effect in there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And that has nothing to do with the non-aggression principle, just so you guys know.
it does not. It was a bug.
And that wasn't debatable.
It doesn't have a brain.
Not debatable.
All right.
A nervous system.
So back to social media and getting triggered.
So I wanted to have a conversation today about legislation versus volunteerism because there was a gentleman that was on a friend of mine's post basically talking all this anti-gun stuff, saying that guns kill people, and he's going all this fucking arguments about how we need to have background checks and you need to have like mental health checks, and you need to have licenses, and you need to re-up on training and all this sort of stuff, which ultimately my pro-gun friend who actually owns a gun store out of state said I can agree with that, and which is fine because that's usually what we as like pro-gun people do to
the gun community.
Me personally, I'm a pro-gun guy, and a lot of times when I talk to anti-gun people, I say, okay, I can agree with that because that's what's going to make you happy and that's what's going to keep you from trying to take my guns away from me. But the problem that I have is that when you try to enact any type of legislation from the state to regulate whether or not I can have a type of gun or a type of bullet or a bump stock or a fucking whatever the fuck it is, if the state is doing it, I have a problem with it. Now, if all these things were voluntary, if we could all come together as a community and decide, well, we can have this or we can't have this, whatever. The thing is that here's where I'm kind of torn, is that I don't know the answer to who is supposed to oversee all that. I know that I have a problem with the state making legislation towards any type of firearm regulation, but I don't know who is supposed to police that. And I'm okay with not knowing. That's the thing. That's a part of this philosophy that we all believe in, is that, like, get rid of the statism, get rid of government, get rid of force, right? But from there, that's a whole other conversation. We have to start by getting rid of the force first, I think.
You
Right?
don't want to get rid of the force, bro. The force is strong
Not
with this one.
the force, the force.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a whole other.
Yeah.
It's a whole
the violence is what you're saying.
It's a whole different force. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to be clear about that.
Come on. You
Yeah.
think I want to get rid of the
Yeah.
force.
All right. Well, so I would have the answer for your dilemma there. The free market. So if you freedom, right? This is what the show's about. Freedom first. So if we had freedom and we didn't have the government regulating all this stuff, what the government does is they initiate force first off against us to regulate us and put us in a box. So this is what's allowed and what's not. And then we find ways around it, and then they add, or the people do, and then they add more, and they add more and more and more. So pretty much it ends up being they ban it basically outright.
So if you look at automatic weapons,
Sure.
right? They banned automatic weapons. We invented the bump stock.
Correct.
Okay.
That's a good example.
Then they banned the bump stock. Okay.
Right.
Well, so that's a good example of that exact ladder that you're talking
So
about.
now they're going around it, and so you're gonna have that like 80% and stuff like that as well. You outlaw a certain type of weapon, then people are gonna make other things. Eventually, if you did outlaw all guns, people are still gonna manufacture and make them on their own. They're gonna go to knives. They're gonna go to different things.
Dude, with
bows.
the 3D printing, I'll call it a fucking epidemic right now. Holy
Revolution.
shit, dude! Yeah, it is a fucking revolution. You see that shit that I sent you the other day, where you can fucking 3D print your a fucking Glock lower?
Yeah.
Holy shit, bro!
Yeah, dude, I've seen that. That thing's awesome.
And that's the only part of the firearm that is considered a firearm. That's crazy. Do you guys not see how insane this is?
Yeah.
I can buy a fucking upper, which is the only part that actually houses a fucking live round and makes it fire.
Well, and this is exactly why they're going after the parts kits now. If you guys have all seen on the news, we've had some on our page. I posted
Are they?
too. Yeah.
Okay,
So they're trying to go after parts and parts kits and stuff too. So basically what ends up happening is now you have, if we had what we want is freedom, it's going to take time, just like in economics or anything else, that you have something unregulated, and then if something happens bad, it takes time to balance out. There's going to be free market solutions that will fix these problems. So if bad things happen, whatever they are, whether it's with guns or finances or whatever, or drugs or anything, there's going to be ways that the free market will regulate itself out. So, so instead of worrying about, let's ban this, let's ban that, let's let the free market freedom, let's let that reign, but we never can let that happen because everyone gets impatient. And then what ends up happening is we jump in with a government and then control everyone. So we can't ever really get, with the mindset that people have, we can't ever get like true freedom. Because they keep wanting to regulate it.
Yeah, everybody thinks the fucking solution to anything is more legislation. Make this business have to do this. Make these people have to do that. Make this place have to accept this. It's all control.
Absolutely.
And we don't fucking need any of it.
Yeah, so the whole thing is like the legislation versus volunteerism. It would be it's definitely it's hard to have that when everyone wants Big Daddy the state to take care of them. And so people's mindsets need to change. They need to understand the free market is what we need to go towards on all of our freedom. You know what I mean?
Yep.
On all things. And eventually there'll be free market solutions for all these problems.
So, and I've said this time
In
and
my
time
opinion.
again. Good disclaimer there. I mean, all of this is all of our own
freedom
opinion,
first, bro.
right? Yeah. So I've said this time and time again on this show. If you want to have a little bit of money being taken out of society, out of every paycheck or whatever, if it's voluntary, I don't have a problem with it. The fact that it is being taken from me with no representation, given to who the fuck knows
Well,
where.
if you want to think about it, right, it would be like a retirement plan or something like that, or a health care that you would choose to do. You're voluntarily signing up for something and doing it. You're not being forced by a point of a fucking gun to do something for the government, the collective.
And just to put that like smoothly, like when you say that, because if you don't pay those taxes, then you're not actually working for a legit company, because in America you have to work for a company, you have to fill out tax paperwork, you have to do all this bullshit. If you work under the table, that's fucking illegal. You'll get audited, and then they do literally come to you with guns and fucking take you and put you in a fucking box.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you are working, you're being stolen from, because you are being forced to give.
You're
part
being
of
robbed.
earnings.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And if it was just, if you put a little fucking box on my fucking pay stub and I could say roads, healthcare for everybody. What's another fucking big socialist bullshit that everyone wants to fuck?
Schools?
Sure.
Schools? Yeah, sure. Okay, there's one. Those things, as long as I get to decide where they go and how much goes to it, I don't have a problem with it. But people don't understand that, like, it's a fucking hard line between socialism and, like, volunteerism, right? And, like, our country is as fucking socialist as it's ever been.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it comes to a whole nother level. Where the fuck do you get off telling me how I can protect myself, my family, and my loved ones, and my friends? It's none of your fucking business. I can use whatever the fuck I want to defend them. I don't understand how everyone gets caught up in this, oh, well, we can't have fully automatic weapons, or we can't have this kind of gun, or this length of barrel, or we can't have a goddamn suppressor on the fucking gun. Fuck you, freedom, bro. We need to be able to make the choices to defend ourselves how we see fit. It's not the fucking government's job to take care of us. It's our fucking job. It comes down to the individuals.
I think that's what most people have a hard time wrapping their heads around, is that, like, they want someone else to protect them and defend them, and they don't understand that, like, you need to take accountability for your own life and your own safety.
Responsible for your own actions.
No one's coming to fucking help you. You have to fucking come help you.
Well, no one even wants to think for themselves anymore.
Right.
I mean, that's why they always, elect a president. Or,
right, and that's why they always turn...
Or a congressman or something like that. It's like, you know what? I'm going to give my vote to you.
And that's exactly why they keep turning to the government. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, dude, so you want this person to do all this for you when you should be doing it yourself. The whole thing is, dude, what's changed between now and 50 years ago is, dude, 50 years ago, they were independent, dude. They didn't need the fucking government, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They had their neighbors. They had their community. They could thrive that way. We don't have that now.
Right.
It's illegal to do that now.
It is illegal.
You grow
to
a
do
fucking garden in your front lawn, they'll lock you up.
Collecting
No,
rainwater.
it's true.
Yeah.
Collecting rainwater. I mean, just bartering with your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to be everything.
Uncle
has to be a
Sam
guide.
has to be involved with everything,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Under the table? Audit. You're fucked.
Yeah, big government's is the answer. Whenever anything happens, what is it? Make
more
another law.
government,
Yeah,
please protect us.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, what do? They just take away more laws.
And you talk to the average person, which we all do all the time, and they're always saying, "Well, government needs to do." Every time something happens, well, government should do this, or we need to do that.
What are you gonna do?
Right.
You know what's funny? I actually made a Facebook video when Donald Trump got elected, and I'm driving through the East Side, and I'm seeing all these kids striking. And it's like, for one, these kids striking, it's not what the kids want to do. It's what these adults want to do.
They've been spoon-fed this crap in school and their parents and the media and whatever.
And the whole time, dude, I'm sitting there saying, like, dude, you guys want this fictitious person to come in, this messiah to come in and fucking make everything better,
The president, just real quick on your note, the president's not supposed to be the goddamn king, but we all treat it like every time we elect a new king.
Why is that?
It's not supposed to be that.
Oh, no, Trump said this. Obama said that. It doesn't matter what they say.
And I think that that's a good reason why all three of us here pretty much lean or are ANCAP, anarcho-capitalists, because we lean to the extreme of the Libertarian Party, because we just keep seeing that everyone's answer, including a lot of libertarians, they think the answer is more government.
Control me, daddy.
Please, daddy.
Dude,
Control me.
so just to touch on the whole high school thing, all those kids walking out of class, I guarantee like 15% of them know what the fuck they're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you talk to them on the
Oh,
street. They don't know what
no,
the fuck they're
no.
doing.
Dude, everyone, if I was in high school and they're like, yeah, well, I mean, like, we're all doing a walkout, you can go stand on the fucking
Fuck yeah.
on the green for 30 minutes. I'm like, I'm out of class, bitches. Peace. Like, I don't give a
Dude,
fuck.
but that's what
I
they'll
just
do.
became a Democrat all of a sudden. Like, I'm fucking
Dude,
ready to rock and roll.
one of my little cousins, he actually went and he did a walkout.
Did he know why he was doing the walkout?
I don't know.
You ought to ask him. Yeah. You ought to talk to him about it.
I should, and be like, dude, and then just.
No. I mean, and I don't mean like
No,
don't grill him, but just find out what he says, just because
like,
it'd be
hey,
kind of
so,
cool to
so
report
just
on.
His motive, basically.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to report on.
So I think that this pretty much just comes down to it is government control, the collective, versus freedom, the free market and voluntary. Because what we were just going through that whole thing, it's just like it's none of the fucking government's job or business to fucking control what we do. It shouldn't be. As long as we are not harming someone, like there should be no problem with this at all. And I have a problem with the government, period. So it's hard for me to even really give you an answer.
And I mean,
outside of that.
even a step in the right direction. Like, really, society would learn to police itself as long as we were all basically good fucking people, which is kind of the philosophy that we like preach on this show, right? So, being a good human 101. If it's a victimless crime, it's not a crime.
Yeah, and
no victim, no crime.
No victim, no crime.
Some reggae music.
Yeah.
No victim, no crime.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much what we talked about, and we've talked about this a few times too. Dial in your philosophy, know what's right and what's wrong, and go from there. And be honest with yourself. Like, oh, what's right and what's wrong? You can't steal. Okay, well, we're gonna have the government protect us. Well, the government is funded by stealing. So you're having a government agent protect you from theft, but they're stealing from you through taxation and threat of force. So yeah, non-aggression principle. That's one of the ones that we all pretty much guide most of our choices on, involuntary transactions and property rights. It's pretty much
the one thing
pretty straightforward.
The one thing that kind of scares me though is that there are people that are okay with the taxation. And
yeah, there is, absolutely.
We call them statists.
Yeah, statists.
I mean, dude, did you guys hear about the 10% water tax Gavin Newsom?
I heard about that today for the first time.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, 10% water tax for clean water. Yeah. And it's like, are we not the most taxed state?
Stop drinking out of the fucking tap. How about that?
Yeah, but please don't start drinking out of the toilet like that. Fucking Jesus Christ.
It's so good. It has vitamins and minerals in it.
Fucking
it's got minerals.
Yummy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Why are her teeth yellow for?
Yeah.
I see anti-gun people on Facebook and here's what I will say. The conversation that was had today was productive. Nobody ganged up on anybody. Nobody resorted to name calling. Everybody used data.
They're being an adult.
Everyone was being, and you don't normally see that. The one thing I hate about the pro-gun community is where they immediately always go to, well, I mean, knives are this bad, and look what happened in Britain. You can't even have a butter knife now. And then also, like, fucking, why not ban hammers or whatever? Because those are, like, the leading cause of death and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's not about fucking what's worse. It's about what's right.
Right.
And that's the problem that I have. I will argue a principle with you without throwing other statistics at you.
And those statistics are correct, too.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. I'm not saying that they're not, but like it's not needed in that argument. The only thing that's needed in that argument is, what do you think is right? Do you think it's right that the government should tell me how to do anything with my life?
Right.
If your answer is yes, then you are a statist. And that's fine. We can agree to disagree, but the argument needs to stop there. I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change my mind.
Right.
Let's just agree to live our lives. You know what I mean?
It's weird because I had the same conversation earlier today too about the whole, New Zealand, banning the whole.
Right.
Oh my God.
Semi-automatics
and
rifles.
And the old, an old high school friend was like, change is made, and I, how? I mean, all you.
Well, change has been made, but
yeah, but I mean, is it good or bad?
Right.
But then he went on to say, the whole, the whole sum of it is he basically said that even with facts and everything, he said, this is why things will never change because I will never see your point of view. I refuse to see your point of view. His exact words: I refuse to see your point of view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my thing is,
He's not.
That's rough.
if you refuse to see another person's point of view, how do you expect to grow and change things?
Right.
You can't. It's just going to stay the same. He wants this whole utopian society where people are treated equally and rainbows and sunshines coming out of people's asses and stuff. But how do you get there if you're not willing to talk to people?
So
Absolutely.
I used to consider myself a utopianist. Absolutely. I used to believe that like this whole this like grandiose socialist environment was going to be the way of the future. I really did, man. And now I see that the only way that it's paid for is by taking from everyone else. Like if the collective all wanted to give of their own free will, that's cool.
It's voluntary, yeah.
But that, I mean, let's be realistic.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
I mean, if they sat there and said, you know what, we're going to divide this country and, this whole, utopia right here, everybody be, on board for the collectivism. And if you don't like it, we will relocate you to this other side of the,
Planet.
wherever, where you could be anarchist and run,
Sure.
anarchy.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were to do that to where they could have their own little utopia where they could just go and migrate themselves, then maybe it might happen. But I mean, when you're trying to make it in something that's not, it's never going to happen.
Right. I have a little bit of a gripe with Jamie to bring up right now. Well, what we need to, we need to stop calling them anti-gun people because they're not anti-gun. They are pro-gun. It's just in whose hands. They want law enforcement to have the guns, the military, the government agents to have guns.
So we'll just call them
what
statists.
we need to call them is control freaks because I think that's
okay.
Because a lot of people
they don't want me to have a gun, but they want the police to have a gun.
Yeah, they want to control us, and that's what we're against. We're against people controlling us.
And don't you think it's weird that the people that are saying you need to have, police should have guns are also the ones that are saying police are bad.
Police
They need to-
brutality, yeah.
Police
Yeah.
brutality, and it's like, so what are you
Which
gonna
one
do?
is it? Right.
And
I'm
then-
just going to call myself out real quick. I've said statist more time on this show than I ever have.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
like
the
it.
guy who always fucking talks shit about labels.
Sure.
I'm just going to throw that out
Yeah,
there.
well, we already-
Just before anyone
but
can
we did
call me out
but
on
we
it.
did have that show where we did agree that we do need the labels.
I need them, but I hate them.
What I think we really hated more than any of it on the labeling part, because I remember when we talked about that, I didn't even get into every single thing I wanted to talk about it, but some of it was getting brought up about like gender and religions and sexuality and things like
okay.
that. Those kind of labels, I don't give a fuck about. Those call yourself whatever the fuck you want. Just don't force it on anyone with government force. I don't care about that. What we were talking about on that episode, if you guys have seen that episode, is what me and Jamie were more talking about. Is we were trying to talk about different labels like communist, socialist, conservative, libertarian, anarchist, those kind of things.
Political labels.
Those are the kind of labels that we're like, it sucks that we have to have those kind of labels. When you're gonna like call yourself whatever it is you want to call yourself, I don't give no one here ever is giving a fuck about that.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't even apply. So when we were talking about labels, or we do talk about labels, it's more on the end of like political, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
I wouldn't you say like when we bring it up?
No, absolutely.
When we have gripes about it,
it's always left wing.
Left wing.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Wing.
Yeah.
Right wing. Conservative, Democrat. It's like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Caw-caw. Wings.
yeah.
Yeah.
And here's something that me and Jamie were talking about a little bit earlier. I was just telling him like same thing I just basically said is that we don't care. Like call yourself whatever you want, your sexuality, all that stuff. Freedom, bro. Like we don't care about that. We just don't like it when people, it doesn't matter what you're trying to push, if you're trying to get government involved to control us, that is where we have a problem. Freedom is more important than your fucking feelings. And you don't need to have someone come at any of us or you or anyone with a fucking gun threatening you to say you have to do this or you have to call this person this or whatever. Freedom isn't always pretty, but it's fucking fair, right? I mean, it's
important, right?
It's very important.
So I'll tell you guys one thing that like kind of led to this whole thing has kind of come full circle on me when I had to deal with remember when there was that the whole wedding cake thing? There was a bakery that wouldn't bake a cake for
episode 5 cake farts. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
okay.
Yeah. There was a bakery that wouldn't bake a cake for a gay couple. Mm-hmm. Now, when I originally saw that story and I heard that there was legislation that was passed that forced that company to make that cake for that couple, I was like, fuck yeah, fuck those guys. They're being a bunch of fucking hating
bigoted
pieces
whatever
of shits, right? You know what I mean? Like, fuck, love is love. Why fucking hate them? Just bake them the fucking cake, all right? Now, it's come full circle. I'm like, nah, you know what? Maybe the state didn't have any room to fucking go into that private business and tell them how to run their organization.
But see, that's
Freedom,
been
bro.
my take on it since day one. It's like, dude, how are you going to sit there and force somebody to do something that you don't want to do?
Absolutely.
Right, and that's and
Well, he's
see,
a new growing.
That's what I'm
he's young,
saying.
buddy.
I mean, isn't that the very definition of rape?
yeah,
I
course.
mean,
Is
well,
to being
consent. You know what I mean? The lack of.
Yeah, but I mean,
you're forcing someone to do something that's against their will.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I didn't understand it back then. Back then it was like, yeah, like fuck you guys, like you should have to make that cake because these guys they're people just like anyone else, and you should show them the same respect you show anybody. But on the one hand, it's like, you know what? Maybe don't make them do something that they're opposed to, and then maybe we all just show them that they're assholes by boycotting that fucking company, and then they go fucking under.
Yeah, fuck that
That's
company.
free market shit
So
right
we can
there.
already say, fuck that company, and we won't do business with them. It's pretty fucking simple.
Straight
You
up.
can go out and protest them, do whatever you want. If you don't agree with it, don't force them to do anything. And it's a slippery fucking slope because where does that change? Where does that stop? Because whatever the majority, democracy is my rule. Whatever the majority decides that is wrong, right? Then they can force that upon you.
but here it is. I mean, they were basically shamed by everybody.
Well,
That's my thing.
give and take, because there's people supporting them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the whole thing is like you're not supporting, the whole gay marriage. My thing is, and I've grew up, a lot different from other people.
Sure.
But my thing is, you know what? If nobody likes you, get the fuck on about it.
Yeah, get over it.
Get over it.
And
You're
then
an adult.
adapt and change.
Adapt and
right.
change. I mean, honestly, if you're a kid, when you're taught as a kid, I want to play with them. They don't want to play with you.
Right.
You know what? Go play with them.
Yeah, go find another
play
group of
with
friends. Right, absolutely. Yeah, it's just it's unbelievable that you want to force a company, even changing that thing to it could be a different group of people, it could be a race, it could be whatever. We just go blast them. If they're fucking wrong, then you go do it. It's free market, right? We can
Yeah.
it's supposed to be free
It's
market.
yeah, it should be
I
free
had to
market.
correct myself. It goes into the gun thing. Same exact thing. You know what I mean? Like you're saying.
Absolutely.
So, I think we covered that.
Yeah, I think we kind of beat the shit out of that one, didn't
Yeah.
we? All right.
Stop telling us how to fucking live our lives and let's choose freedom.
Yeah, fucking A.
Freedom first.
So, you freedom fighters don't know this, but I'm colorblind, okay? And it's not as bad. It's not as bad, all right,
is
as
fun.
as
don't-
you see right now, okay?
I don't see color.
Yeah.
He
I
really
don't
doesn't.
see color.
Yeah, I really am colorblind.
It's weird that you do see black and white,
To
though.
red and green. And we were looking at volunteerism earlier, and the volunteerism logo is a block letter V.
The ANCAP colors.
And it's red and black.
Yeah, so he goes, oh, it's weird that it's red and black and all. I was like hella concerned because it's only green really that you can't, right?
Red and green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I was like, because it's yellow and black. And I was like,
So, yeah, first
I
of
was
all,
like
it's
literally
yellow.
concerned. I wasn't even going to talk shit. I was like, bro, your site's like getting bad. I was like concerned. And he's all, no, I meant yellow. And I'm like, okay.
He fucking.
Yeah.
I look
Yeah,
over
I
at Johnny. He's like white. Like he's like, that is. You know that's yellow, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I meant. And he's like,
I was really concerned for a second. I was like, dude, your eyes are going bad, bro.
he's like, are you having a
How are you
stroke?
going to run the podcast?
Does your left arm feel numb? Like, do you smell toast? Like, what's happening
yeah,
right now?
It was hella funny though. I was like, it's yellow and black, not red.
Hey, but
bro.
seriously, how does that happen? I never looked into it or.
Colorblindness? You're born with it. What it is you have cones in your. They're called cones in your eyes, and depending on how many you have, depends on how many colors you can see. So I was born with less of them, and so I can't actually see red and green as well. I can still see red and green. I know your hat is green. I know this is very green, right? But like when you put something like a purple and a blue, sometimes next to each other, they both look blue to me because I can't see the red and the purple. Or sometimes like a really light pink I'll think is white because I can't see the red in the pink. But for the most part, I still see things from what I understand as vividly as anyone else does. My old roommate used to want to get me those chroma glasses because so many people put every video I've ever seen someone putting those on, they fucking literally weep after seeing color for the first
I've seen
time.
that, and it's trippy because it's like, dude, I want to know what it's like to, to like for the first time to like see color or hear sound or something.
Yeah.
Like that. But my thing is, why don't they have like contacts to where you could put in? I mean, they're so concerned with like anti-wrinkle cream and hair loss.
Yeah.
And
Let's
Because
get
it's
some
all the
colorblind
vanity shit,
contacts,
yeah.
And
we
boner
hear
pills.
at Grim 86 Freedom First. You hear it here first. We're all colorblind.
Ayo. Yeah, the thing is like I told like he almost bought them for me for like my birthday or something, but they're like $400, and I was like, dude, please, I was like, do not fucking buy those
You know
glasses
what I like
for
to
me.
say about that?
What's that?
Almost isn't good enough.
No, I told him not to.
No, I know.
I said, please do not.
Yeah.
I don't think.
What was his name?
My buddy,
Yeah.
Justin.
Shout out to Justin.
Shout out to
Justin.
Justin.
Oh, I know Justin.
He's never gonna watch this.
But I know who it is.
Yeah.
No.
But somebody he knows will, and they're gonna be like,
There's like
"Dude,
some
give you a
random
shout
dude that
out."
like was like, I was gonna buy that for Jamie too,
That'd
and
be
my
random.
name is Justin.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, they
And they
so
put lipstick on and checking off his like
people to kill. Yeah.
and now you just put your name back on there.
There it is. There it is. Fine.
So
It is
there.
what it is.
Sorry, Justin.
The reason why I couldn't justify ever having a pair of those is because I don't think that my color blindness is that bad. I still see what I can consider a full array, a gamut, if you will, of colors. You know, I literally like I sell TVs.
It's weird. He like charges little playing cards and then throws them when he's like seeing. Yeah,
not a gambit.
Oh,
not a
oh.
gambit. You
Oh.
son of a bitch.
Okay, I'm
I
way
should've
off.
fucking-
man.
I was
I
like,
was on your page.
right.
I was like, that's
I was like,
awesome.
wait, you have a crush on Rogue and you get into random fights with Wolverine.
And I'm Cajun.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Are you really?
Well, I mean, no, but I'm just
Oh.
saying. wouldn't it be
Really?
funny?
It's weird that you're Cajun because I don't see a Cajun around you right now.
Yeah,
It's like-
I fucking hate you right now, dude. I swear to God.
Ba-dum-ts.
All right, let's
Hey-o.
watch these assholes hurt themselves.
All right.
Yeah,
sounds
you
like-
guys ready?
Yeah. Pull that bad boy up there.
I will. I'm just gonna maximize it.
Get
first.
it ready. So these are what? Oh, these are bike fails.
Yeah, mountain bike
All
fails,
right.
dude. We don't have to watch the whole thing. It's like almost 5 minutes long, but we got to get through a couple of them.
This
'cause-
trail shit's cool. Oh, right, yeah. I feel like that would happen to all of us right away. Just like, boom.
just
Yeah,
immediately.
just get on it. And
Dude, now
fall.
watch this fucking car pile up here, or bike pile up, as it were. Just no indication of the upcoming turn. Look at this.
Oh shit! All of them.
Look at
just
that. Yeah, all
fucking-
three of them, dude. Fuck.
It's
boom.
like scout the trail first, maybe, bro. Oh. 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 Shit.
All right. Now this.
Oh, fuck.
He's got a red jersey on.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
The noise he made. Oh, that was a good one. A little gargle in it.
Listen.
You alright? Yeah, buddy, how you? I'm probably better than you right now.
I can't believe you done this.
I can't believe. Dude, watch
Boy,
this fucking guy. Look.
Oh! Fuck. That fucking water came out of nowhere. Ooh, he's not.
Yeah, that's a.
He was
wind,
hurting.
Yeah,
He
wind
did the
knocked
whole
out of
Peter
you.
Griffin on the floor for 5 minutes.
Oh.
Wah, wah.
Sorry about that, whammy.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta pick up that front tire, Chief.
Jesus.
Watch the fuck out.
Uh-oh, this guy's cool.
Oh,
man.
all right, muscles,
Yeah.
chill out.
Right?
He just bailed.
Yeah, just like
The
planted
fuck?
his front wheel
Yeah.
at the tip of the ramp. What the hell? Maybe he got like scared at the last second.
Locked him up or something.
Oh, shit.
Where is he stuck?
He's just like, his nuts are. He's pinned against the fucking fence.
Oh shit!
Damn. A little squeaky brake
The
action
brakes,
there, bro.
that was awesome.
Ah.
You okay?
Oh.
All right. Let's get one more of these in.
All right, one more and then we'll
See
call
what
it.
happens.
Smooth, clean.
Oh.
Oh shit!
And he ran him over.
Yep, nosedive.
Oh, fuck.
Beautiful.
You know
Pile
what?
up.
You know what? Hey, I want to link to this video because I want to see if there's any people of color in this. Because I didn't see any, like, that does not seem fun whatsoever. Like, let's ride our bikes
Yeah.
off the side of a cliff. Like, nah, I'm cool, homie.
Yeah, they're like, this just sounds stupid.
I'll watch you.
Like,
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
I'll see you on YouTube later, asshole.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.
Good day.
All right, cool. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for the second half, episode 30. Catch you in a minute.
Hey, freedom fighters, I'm going to be talking about the social justice warriors and how they were coward-ass bullies. All these social justice warriors, all this is about is control. That's all they want to do. They only want to control you. Why do you want to pick on everyone? Why do you want to control everyone? But ultimately, they just want to be bullies. I don't understand why you think you know what's best for me or what's best for whoever is making a statement or making a movie or making a, I don't know, drawing a comic book. Why do you want to control what everyone's doing, what they sing, what they say? It's insane. You guys are control freaks, and how dare you try to tell everyone how to live? Freedom is not always pretty. And without freedom of speech, without being able to communicate and articulate different ideas and try to spread that word of whatever it is that you believe, without that, what do we have? We don't have freedom. We don't have anything else without spreading knowledge or ideas. We have nothing. So we all need to just stand up and not take the shit any longer. Don't let them bully you into a corner. A comedian is there to entertain you. I mean, that is completely ridiculous when you're watching entertainment and you get so triggered and so bent out of shape that they said something about whatever it is that doesn't fit your fancy. Like, that's ridiculous. If you're that weak that words hurt you and you can't understand when people are joking, or if it is a different idea, if it is something that you don't agree with, racism, sexism, whatever it is, get over it. It's just fucking words. It's not a big deal. I see how it is. So you guys got to hide behind guns. You got to use the government to protect you. Why do you want to force people by the end of a barrel of a gun? That's what you guys are saying. When you guys want to implement law and controlling the population for your gender identification or for whatever your feel-good motive is of the day, of the hour, you're basically, what you're saying is that you want force to be initiated upon others because of words. Think about that for a second. Get your emotions out of your decision-making process. It's not that hard. Use reason, logic, evidence, facts, science, like we always say on the show. Use your fucking brain. Activate your brain and stop thinking with your emotions. So really, just take a look at yourself in the mirror and try to understand, why do you feel like you need to bully everyone and control everyone? Get a fucking life.
All right, we're back. Episode 30, second half. Let's do it. So during the break here, I was just talking to these fellas here about something that I had to have like a coming around to. I used to get frustrated at speaking to people who spoke English as a second language, because oftentimes I would have to use smaller words, more simple words, and like, if I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, I know a lot of words, whatever. We all do, right? Whatever. When you have to simplify yourself and it makes you feel like you're kind of stupid because you're trying to like communicate with a person who doesn't know all the words that you know, it made me feel dumb. And like there was a point in my life where I realized, like, this fucking person knows 2 languages and I only know 1. So
right.
like holy shit.
Yeah, they might be a badass motherfucker at their native language and they just kind of are learning a new language.
That's
right?
exactly what I was saying. So I'm like, dude, like, this guy's he's probably a cardiologist or some shit. And like, I have no fucking, you know what I mean? Like, he knows he's gone through like 12 years of medical school.
And for you guys at home, cardio master is what that means. So they're really good at the bike, the exercise bike, or like running.
Elliptical.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So now you guys, okay, continue, Jamie. The viewers at home don't always know what these terms mean. I know you're good at words, but they're not always good at words.
But no, I mean,
hey,
but what Jamie's talking about,
don't make fun of our freedom fighters, man. Come on, come on.
But I mean, I understand what Jamie's talking about, because I mean, I've worked in the medical field. I've known people where it's like, oh, well, I'm just a medical assistant here, but back home I'm actually a registered nurse. Mm-hmm. It's like
Yeah.
Or doctor.
or a doctor or anything, and it's like, well, you come here and it's like, well, your standards have to be so much higher than what they are, and it's like, well, I'm a nurse back home, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. But it's a whole thing about you don't know who you're talking to until you actually sit there and take the time, which honestly a lot of us don't even do. I mean, we're so busy in our lives to where we don't sit there and just talk like, hey, what's up? What's your name? My name is Aaron. Your name is this.
That's the thing though, like, man, when I was younger, I used to be more open and outgoing, and I'm still very much an extrovert, and you guys both probably noticed that about me, right? But the older I get, the more I'm just like, mind your fucking business. Like, I don't give two fucks about the guy walking down the street passing me next to me. I don't give a fuck to start a conversation. It's not that I'm like grumpy. It's just that I'm like I don't like. I'd rather just not. Like, I kind of got my own thing going on,
Yeah,
and like
grumpy old fuck.
I maybe it is. Maybe that is what's happening. I don't
All
fucking know,
bitter
dude.
at the world.
And it's
I'm
funny
just-
because, dude, like, I think it was yesterday I posted. I was driving down Tully Road, town of road in, certain town, city over here. And I seen this dude. At first I thought he was wearing a long shirt and
I
skinny
saw your
jeans.
post. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But it turned out he was wearing a dress. An old dude wearing a dress. Bow-legged, walking down the road. And it's like,
Yeah.
and, and no hating.
Well, didn't he just look lovely?
Freedom, bro.
Dude, my whole thing
That's the
is
way I
like,
look at
dude,
it.
he's enjoying this lovely, warm day. He's probably going commando under that.
Sundress season, bro.
He's probably going
Straight
commando.
up.
And I'm jealous because I'm hot as fuck
Right.
in my uniform.
Right.
And I'm
So
jealous.
shout out to Kenny's post on that fucking. Did you guys see that one where it's like, don't let fucking.
Yes, I saw that. Shout out to Kenny's
yeah,
post.
shout out to Kenny's post. Don't let a $9 sundress.
Don't let a $7
cost you-
sundress cost you motherfucking child support. And it's like, and it's true because that sundress was looking
Yeah.
lovely
See, he
on
contributed
her.
to the show. That's cool.
Yeah, he wasn't even here. I brought his shit up.
Right on.
That was awesome.
But yeah. So yesterday I was at my son's basketball game, and I started talking. Started talking to one of the dads, and I'm thinking, Asian guy, bald, he's got to be an engineer or something like that. He's got to be a square, He's got to be a square.
L7 weenie.
Right? And so he starts talking to me. He's like, oh,
Racism.
yeah. Right? Fuck me. And so I start talking to him, and it turns out he grew up on the east side, would play ball everywhere, pick up games everywhere. And it's like, oh, dude, me and you got more in common than a lot of these motherfuckers out here because we grew up on the same side of town and everything. But it turns out he's actually raising his, he was raising his son from 3 years old. He's like 11 now to be a professional competition swimmer.
Wow.
And then it was last year to where he almost lost him to like some weird bacterial disease.
Oh,
in the
Jesus.
pool. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Like he had to fight for his son's life. Just just crazy shit. But it's like, but you never know what the
You
other
judged a
person-
book by its cover kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dumbass, and I sit there and I say, well, don't judge me by my cover. I'm a big black guy.
Everyone does it, and in a little, even if they're not really trying to do it, they're always
do
going to
it.
do that.
Yeah.
One thing is, dude, we got to realize we do it and say, you know what? You're a dumb motherfucker.
Dude, one thing that always stuck with me, my dad did that to me. We were driving down the street one time, and I was in like 7th or 8th grade or something, and there was this dude, Hispanic guy in front. He was clean cut, had a fucking earring in one ear. He was walking a certain way, and my dad's like, look at this asshole. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and in my head I was like, yeah, like that guy looks like a piece of shit, right? And then he was like, yeah, he's probably a nice guy or whatever. Like, just kind of said it under his breath, and I was like, fuck, dude. I find myself saying that exact same shit to myself all the time because, dude, I get road rage like a motherfucker. I'm trying to adopt the non-aggression principle into when I'm behind the wheel.
Trust
but,
me,
like, I swear to
freedom
God, I
fighters-
want to murder everybody.
Freedom fighters, we are trying every day. We're like monks or something like that, dude. I mean, it's not.
You have to keep trying.
It's
You
not
always have to.
easy to sit there and say, you know what, I'm not going to be aggressive because in this world that we live in, it's really easy to have aggression toward people. But you know what? We're in a civilized society. We're older, and we could grow from this. We could do this.
Always keep
We're
growing.
trying.
Yeah.
We're trying.
We're not perfect. Fuck.
No.
So what I was getting at is that, like, I've said that a lot of times because I'll see people and I'm just like, what a piece of shit. And then I'm like, and then
I see. The problem is, I do that, but it's pretty much everyone, and I'm like, look at these fucking statist motherfuckers.
but then I have
if
to,
you're gonna
I
be-
have to stop myself and I have
I
to go,
do it all the fucking time, bro.
but for me,
you know, he's probably a nice guy. He's probably a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy that wants to steal my fucking money by force.
Yeah, well,
but it's weird for me.
That's a whole other thing. I'm just saying. I'm constantly like reminding myself, like, don't judge that guy. You don't know him. You don't actually know him. What, dude? What if he's the most ANCAP motherfucker I've ever met in my fucking life? You know what I mean? Like, you never. I mean, obviously that's never gonna happen in this fucking town. But I'm just saying, like, I know what the fuck.
Don't
This is
say
crazy.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it, Jamie. I forgot
God
what I was
damn
gonna
it,
say.
Jamie.
But it was good. I
what
did.
I
It
do.
was good.
About judging a book by its cover is pretty much what we're talking about. Seeing people when you're driving around.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to help there.
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, a little bit. But I mean, people see me and they say, dude, that's, you know, dude, literally, my wife will sit there, right? We'll walk into a store. And then I'll walk in and people literally get this weird, you know, like all uptight, like,
Yeah.
fuck, he's going to steal something.
That's a large black man.
That's a large,
Right.
he's going to do something bad. And, you know, I'll go to, you know, the liquor store right here and walk in and people look at me and it's just like, hey, what's up, son? And they're like, oh, my God. And they hear me talk and it's like,
the relief.
oh, my God.
Yeah.
He's one of the good ones. And it's like, fuck, literally, I've had people
Oh man,
Buy-
that's fucking funny.
buy their stuff, leave, come back in, and strike up a conversation.
Jesus
with me.
Christ, bro.
It happens.
So one thing, like, I don't know if Kenny might want to tell this story when he gets back on the show here one day, but the other day he came in to see me at work, and he was walking around, and I came out. I was on my lunch break. I came out, and I was just bullshitting with him.
Did you
talking.
come out with loss prevention, guys?
No,
Oh,
no.
Well,
no.
I jumped the gun there.
I'm getting so
Excuse me, sir.
I'm
We're
getting
gonna have to
on
search
this.
you.
That's exactly what
I
I'm talking
would have
about.
just to fuck with him, actually.
Here's the thing.
But why? I'm white. No,
Here's the-
Kenny, you're not white.
This is what I'm talking about, though. He's like, I came out and I talked to him, and he's like, dude, these motherfuckers, like 9 people came up and fucking said what's up to me. And I was like, what is the fucking big black guy comes in here? You guys think I'm trying to steal some shit? And I was like, no, dude. I was like, hey, like, it's company policy. Like, they have cameras, there's always a guy watching them. If they see a person without an associate talking to them, they tell us to go talk to you. He's like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, yeah, dude, if you're by yourself, we're not going to fucking stop bugging you because that's literally our fucking job. So, like, he thought he was being profiled, and I'm like, nah, dude, you ain't special. Like, everybody
Yeah.
gets that kind of
Yeah,
treatment.
right.
Seriously, everyone. Kenny, bro, we need to talk. Even I know the certain protocols and procedures in stores, dude. No, you're not special, dude.
So I've talked about this once before on the podcast, too, about judging a book by its cover kind of thing. And I had a guy that was a short little Indian guy, a real short guy. And this guy was whatever black belt in Kempo Karate at the time. This guy was a badass.
Karate?
Karate.
Karate.
Yeah, he was in Kempo Karate.
It's like German karate?
Sure.
Karate?
Yeah, well, he was
Racism.
Karate.
He was Indian, too. And his name was Pinto.
Really?
No shit.
Well, that's
Okay.
just a very weird.
So this guy, if you looked at him, you wouldn't think anything. He's a short, little, skinny guy. No big deal, right? This guy's a badass motherfucker, ex-Army Ranger. Like, you would never fucking know in a million fucking years. So, just, you know.
Oh no,
Yeah.
dude, you gotta believe, dude. People think, you know, like a lot of big people, like, dude, I'm gonna go, you know, do what I want, you know. Trust me. Just because people are big doesn't mean they're all assholes trying to go out there and prove a point. There's a lot of people that are just cool, just know that they're just larger than other people, but we are on the lookout for you little motherfuckers right now. Because we know you're fast, we know you're wiry, we know you got agility and cardio and all that shit. Dude, honestly, dude, we don't want no problems, dude. We just want to go home. We just want to do our shit. We just want to get on to the next day. We ain't trying to fuck with you, man.
Sometimes little guys you got to watch out for.
Everybody does fucking MMA these days.
They
Jesus
do.
Christ.
You never know what anyone knows, man.
Even the Wymans.
So
The whammons.
So from the
whammons.
physical abilities to mental and intelligence, you can't judge a book by its cover. So
Yeah,
ultimately,
absolutely.
I mean, there might be a few times you can, but
Debatable. Moving along.
all right. So where are we at? Where are we at, James?
Fucking microchips, dog.
Oh,
Yeah, so we got this
Big
bullshit
Brother.
where, yeah, it is some fucking Big Brother bullshit. So we got this. I mean, I'm just going to show this one thing here. Microchips, people, in the skin. Okay? Now,
Like your dog, like your pets.
right.
You're cattle at this point.
So, like, okay, without getting into the meat of this, the meat and potatoes of this article
you will.
here, if you will. This could be GPS. It could be, purely for location tracking. But also, if you think about it, this could be some sort of RFID shit that actually stores your currency, your occupational status, your fucking driver's license, your identification, everything could be stored on a microchip like this. And there are people going out of their way to say, please do this to me to make my life easier. What's wrong with carrying a fucking wallet, you piece of shit? You want the fucking state to come in and implant something permanently in your fucking arm that they can turn off whenever the fuck they want to? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Right.
I'm mad.
Right, triggered.
Did you guys see that, was it 60 Minutes or 2020 or something like that, where they had the smart car and they had the thieves behind it and the guy's driving,
I didn't see that, no.
And so the guys are all, watch, I'm going to lock his windows. And they locked his windows, and they, basically they left him stranded on the side of the highway.
Wow. No, I didn't see that.
The guy's like, how did that happen? It's like, well,
you got hacked.
You got hacked.
That's the problem with all the technology. There's always going to be a way that some bad guy or a government or whoever is going to be able to counter whatever you're trying to achieve with that. Even if these implants are voluntary at this current point, it's still like, why would you even want to do that? I have no problem if someone voluntarily wants to do it, but it's just like you said, why you got to be a lazy piece of shit? Like, I don't understand.
So, okay, yes, if you do it and it's voluntary,
right,
go ahead and do it. But what I'm here to tell you is that don't fucking do it. Because that's crazy. That is crazy. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, we've all seen sci-fi, once again, movies where they can just take whatever the fuck you want. And we know, there's been tons of times where people can hack into cars. I've seen it, different news stories pop up all the time about that stuff, and people can walk by your cell phone and scan it, or your credit cards in your wallet.
Exactly. They can
so
do
obviously
that.
They can do that by your fucking implant.
So what happens if you get a fucking X-ray?
If you're going to get implants, make sure they're breast.
Or booty. Or butt.
Or, yeah.
Yeah. But here's my thing. So
I'm not racist, so either way.
Let's say these these little microchip implants take off.
Yep.
And at some point in time, to where people are, there's a lot of people like, oh, it's all right, they could let it happen, it's cool. But what happens when you have to raise your voice against the government who's doing this, to sit there and say, you know what?
Off.
I don't like what you're doing. Like a lot of the fucking rallies that we have, or the protests we have now, it's how do they have, they could sit there and be like, you know what? I'm going to hit this button. Anybody in, within this, whatever radius vicinity, they're going to get their shit turned off. And guess what?
Fried. Yep.
You're not getting it turned back on. That's your life.
Or a certain amount of people, like if they're posting on social media, like a political thing or a religious or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. They could be like, okay, well, we know this guy, John Smith, is into this, so therefore we're going to ban everything that he's into because that's now on the terrorist watch list or whatever, right? Or extremist group or something like that. And it's just because a collective decided that he is bad.
Which is
what
some
was
fucking
best for you.
Socialist
Yeah.
So, and I realize that, we sound like a bunch of fucking tinfoil hat wearing fucking assholes right now, but I don't really give a fuck, dude. It really is one of those things that I'm fucking terrified of. If you are going to make everyone have to have a microchip on them, you can put mine on a fucking card, and I'll carry that shit in my wallet.
They have
maybe.
You can put mine on a card, and I'll shove it right up your ass.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Dude, they have
maybe
that
I'll
shit
carry
on
it.
ATM cards. They have it to where you just swallow, beep, and they scan it. You don't need to implant shit. People, is your life so hard to where you can't remember your wallet, your phone?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Well, no, it's on your phone now. They have the tap pay with your phone now and shit, right? Like, you can literally just have your debit card in your phone, and they use NFC, which is near field communication, and you just tap it on the fucking check pad where you would swipe your card normally, and it fucking runs through.
Yeah, the NFC is that like cage fighting thing that's really popular right now. So.
Yeah, remember that guy beat up the Russian dude? Beat up all the people. And
yeah, I got
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried to get on there. Damn it!
Creed 2 was awesome, bro.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
All right. Now that I fucking deflated
seriously,
that.
Don't get a fucking microchip implanted into your body. It's really stupid.
Yeah, let's not be like Sweden on this one.
Yeah,
Don't-
Jamie's Mr. I love technology and the rise of the robots, and he's even against this. Come
Yeah.
on, guys.
Yeah, that's
You got-
saying
yeah.
something.
That's saying something.
saying a
Yeah.
real big thing.
Yeah.
You know, you want to give me a robot arm? Tight. You want to put a microchip in my skin? Get fucked.
What if in the robot arm is a microchip that you didn't know about?
Well, then, holy shit.
Change your stance.
But it's in the robot arm.
But it's a robot arm though. So like it's
totally cooler.
So it's different.
It's totally cooler. You got your cable arm?
Have you guys seen that that
made of,
Netflix film, that
vibranium.
Love Robot something?
Yeah, dude, love Death and Robots.
I haven't seen that.
Have you seen it?
I watched the whole season.
How was it?
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I kind of started watching it, and then I kind of like, dude, I've seen this in the Animatrix before, dude. I've seen.
No. So every episode is different.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, I know that but it just seemed like robots have rights, and it's like kind of like.
No. It has, I mean, like
No?
the whole robots thing was like a very far. Some of them don't involve robots at all.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'll admit, dude, I was in and out of it. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, no, like seriously watch it. Like I banged the whole season out in 2 nights for sure. I was because the episode's like 15, 20 minutes long in some
they're
cases,
not long.
and the animation style goes from being CG to being pen and paper to being live action. It's all over the place.
Okay.
And they're none of the episodes are connected. They don't like lead into each other or anything.
Like one-off things.
Yeah, it's like Black Mirror for our viewers who have watched or Twilight Zone if you want to go back as far as that. But I mean, they're all different. But no,
Back in 1914.
Back in 1914 when we had kazoos.
Yes.
Yeah, it was but I liked it. It was really good in my opinion.
Okay, I'll check.
But
I'll check it out.
I'm a terrible movie critic, and Johnny will tell you as much.
This is true. Yeah. That's funny. So anything else about microchips or any of that
Nah,
stuff?
just fuck microchips.
Stop tracking people.
Yeah,
What
get
the fuck?
get
bro?
the fuck out of here.
And that goes on your car too, right? They have all the low jack and all that crap.
OnStar.
Yeah. So there is a story, and I'm supposed to look it up. I don't remember exactly the details, but it was that the law enforcement can actually access your OnStar, and they can actually slow your vehicle down so you can't get away from the cops. So there's actually a story or two out there. I've actually looked it up, but I didn't. I was supposed to actually do it this week, but I got sidetracked.
Oh, we had a lot.
So
of
it's kind of funny that we talked about that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't have a problem with that technology existing because I think as a vehicle owner, I should voluntarily be able to decide whether or not I want to have that vehicle.
But here's the
equipped with
thing. Is it if they have that on there because it comes with all the cars, like even if you don't have it activated?
See, I'm saying
can they
I should be
access it?
I should be allowed to have it activated or not, and then
Right.
and that should determine whether or not the police can.
But
fuck
can
with
they
it.
activate it even if you don't have that on there? You know what I mean? Like it's part of the car now that they're all building. That's the part.
In a perfect world,
Right.
if you don't pay for that service voluntarily,
Shouldn't be able
it
to be
shouldn't work.
activated.
It shouldn't
Right.
work. Yeah,
Right.
in my opinion.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. No, it is. But I mean, the principle of it, though. I'm like, yeah, I don't have a problem with it if it's voluntary. But if you are saying that you can take over my car without me
My consent.
giving you consent to do that,
This is the scary thing with where technology is going, because pretty soon every single thing is going to have some element of
Control.
and they can a government or an individual can hack in.
But dude,
and
I mean,
do
we were
whatever
talking
they
about
want.
that before, to where, dude, it was like 60 Minutes, 2020, to where these hackers were following this guy and they shut his car down and he had him shut on the side of the road.
That's so crazy, man.
we
So-
just got to be better at it than they are, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like this is so
Start buying
far-fetched.
old school cars.
A 86K5
Yeah.
Blazer.
There you go.
That's why you got
There
to
you
have
go.
friends like me. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there or that. Grrr. All right. So yeah, technology is scary. It's a good thing, but it can be a scary thing too.
Yeah,
So,
a little bit.
what are we at?
We got this article. If you guys want to talk
Oh,
about that, because we're
gosh.
in the fucking medical field and
This
whatnot.
Yeah.
It's kind of a rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Fire
right.
away.
So it is what
So
it is.
let's go.
Yeah. So here it is.
Let's go.
So
This is what we
dive
do.
right in.
So what we got here, folks, is apparently this priest groped a
Yep.
woman. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh sure. Oh sure. So how are you now? Basically, he fucking.
Sorry.
What,
No, I was the asshole. Sorry.
yeah. No, what was there a joke there that I
No,
wasn't
I was
getting?
just trying
Like,
to interrupt you.
All
and
right,
I was being a kid.
I thought it was funny.
I was being
That's
a little
funny.
kid right there. Sorry. I would just try. Yeah.
This fucking.
Sorry, go.
This.
I was being childish.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Thank you. Now that I have your permission to go, we got it. Well, you can read the fucking title in case you can't because you're at home. It says, priest accused of massaging dying woman's breasts asks, does that feel good during last rites? Okay, so this is just as bad as you can fucking imagine.
Oh man, this is brutal.
So a priest, first of all.
No, hold on. We don't mean to laugh so hard. It's just one of those things where
Yeah.
it's like, is this real?
Yeah.
This is.
Is this real?
Anyway.
Were they
throughout-
bolt-ons? I have questions.
God damn it, Johnny. There's.
It's just science, bro. This is just research.
Just anatomy.
Yeah.
It is a form of
Yeah.
science.
So wow.
During this article, they went ahead and asked, talked to the gal who is still alive apparently. So I don't know. I mean,
Maybe it worked.
were they not the greatest last rites? I don't know. Sure.
Maybe he cured
was
her
it-
and
Yeah, he
Was-
jumped,
yeah, was
maybe
it-
he jump-started her.
Yeah, it's not how I think of last
How does
rites.
that
I don't know.
feel?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not a scientist.
how does what?
I never
feel,
claimed
you
to be
know?
a doctor.
yeah.
I mean, what is he asking? Like, how does that? How does your booby rub your? How does I'm putting life into you feel?
I don't-
You don't know how that goes. How
I have a.
You're right. We don't know.
I have a feeling it's probably not that, but
No, I'm pretty sure it's not. But I mean, we
All right.
could reach out.
okay.
to
This is in
for
Texas, so
for
that's interesting.
cereal, we need to stop making light of this because
Yeah.
this is some terrible shit that happened, and like we
It's just so funny. Sorry.
I know.
I don't know
No,
why.
me either. I don't know
He
why.
said booby.
All right, so that's not good.
Okay, grow up.
Okay, yeah, really what it comes down to is priests are still doing that bullshit that they've been doing for the past, I don't know, 2 decades, 3 decades, whatever the fuck.
Probably longer.
Longer.
Dude.
But
We
now
don't
with
know.
women, so there's that. So now, they're really, equality.
Graduated from little kids to women now. Sure.
It's an equality thing.
They've-
It came
they've
full
grown up.
circle.
This show is being brutal tonight.
They've grown too. They've
Yeah.
grown too.
Yeah.
God
Damn, bro.
damn it.
Yeah. Toilet
Literally,
seat licking,
God damn
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
At least we're gonna have company in hell, guys.
I feel
gonna
like
be
we
good.
brought the class back to the show. We've lost our class for a
Fucking
while.
A.
We finally came back to episode
Third bar
5.
on the left, you guys,
Yeah.
when we get to hell. Just
Yeah,
so you know.
sure. Yeah.
Just
It's
so
a
you
great
all
bar.
know. Yeah, just so you all know.
Remember to look for the tactical jackets. All right.
Oh shit. All right. So is there anything else about this fucking thing? That's just brutal.
No.
It's just really weird.
No, that
because-
was it. We have nothing
because-
else on that. It's just this guy being a piece of shit.
But you don't know what's going on when you go to like certain procedures, like when you go to get your teeth cleaned, or your, or the dentist, or a doctor, or LASIK, where they put, anything
put
where
under.
they put you out. I mean, I was literally, dude, I had surgery, hernia surgery not too long ago, a few years ago, and it's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck they were doing when I was out.
Right.
They're behind closed doors. Everything. It's a bunch of coworkers at work trying to pass the time. So how do I know there's not some dick pics of me floating out there? I don't know. I mean,
well, first of all, have you never taken a dick pic? I mean,
First off-
have you ever really
First
lived?
off, in Aaron's defense, it was cold. Okay, those fucking gowns.
They're
there's
drafty.
There's
They're
a draft
drafty.
in the back, and they keep it cold for the blood platelets,
Oh,
so they
shit.
work better.
God
Yeah,
damn it, you
It's-
judgmental pricks at home.
it's science. Science.
oh man.
But I mean, it's just one of those things where you don't. Maybe it's like you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who it is. It's like oh, you're a doctor, cool. It's like, dude, and this guy just copped several fills on you.
yeah, you never know. You don't know.
But I mean, how many other women have come out and are like, oh yeah, I went to this dentist and this guy was groping me? I mean, wasn't there like a hidden camera where they did that on like some type?
Yeah,
of
I've seen
episode?
different little undercover things where they film what's going on.
Fucking terrible.
It's horrible, man.
But this is why you gotta go with your loved ones to their appointments.
Yeah,
It-
that is horrible to even
Right.
think of. That's what we need to do in this day and age. Are you
Yeah.
out of your fucking mind?
People watching.
I can't let my girlfriend, my mom, my sister go to a fucking doctor by themselves. What the fuck? We had to
Now,
leave this world
I
behind.
always go to the doctor by myself.
well,
you know what I mean.
you are
Doctor, why are your pants over there?
Johnny,
Don't-
you have to be
don't
clothed
worry.
when you come in.
Do I really?
Just saving you the trouble, Doc.
So is this where you like touch my balls? No, this is an eye exam. I'm an optometrist. Like,
Apples, oranges, whatever. Potato, potato.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You're
Whatever.
a doctor.
Yeah.
You're a doctor, right? It says
Come on,
doctor
doc.
in front of your name.
Oh man! All right, we got the class, San Diego.
I'm a
Come on.
podiatrist. Get out of here. What do you?
Yeah, science, bro.
Why are you naked? Why aren't you?
Ooh, right. Oh my God! All right, so next story.
Yeah, I mean,
Quickly
fuck.
go along now.
Next.
All right.
Okay, so the next one we got is the mandatory service one. This gentleman here, Beto O'Rourke. Yeah, he's talking about mandatory service. If you want to get into is it into politics or is it into what? Into something. This guy, either way, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, the
He's
bottom
talking
line
about,
is
he's
yeah.
talking about mandatory service, which goes completely against the whole fucking volunteerism shit that I was preaching about earlier. And if you think that anything should be fucking mandatory, you're out of your goddamn mind.
Dude, this
That's
sounds like
what all I have to say about it.
this
you
sounds
guys,
like
go
Starship
ahead.
Troopers. It sounds like Starship Troopers, like if,
Citizenship.
citizenship. If you want to have babies, if you want to do this, you have to serve. And it's like, fuck, dude, really?
Yeah, I hate this shit.
Predictive programming, maybe, really?
Yeah, let people have the choice to do what they want to do.
Now, they're like, I don't know, like if we all got together as a voluntary nation and said maybe if you want to be in a position of politics that has to do with the armed forces, if that were to still fucking exist, maybe you had to have served in order to supersede any sort of politics over an armed service. I mean, maybe we can have that conversation, but I mean, like, fuck, I have a problem with the whole goddamn thing to begin with.
So
a
here's
problem
my
with the fuck.
question.
All right.
Are his kids? I'm sorry.
He's
Are,
all right.
are his kids opted out of it?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean,
Does he even have
you
kids?
know what I mean? Like,
Does he even
who
have
knows?
kids?
Yeah, I
mean,
don't know.
Yeah, it's like,
But
fuck.
I mean, is it his? I mean,
I know what you're
his
saying.
Kids.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sorry, Jamie. I didn't mean to.
No, I
that was-
totally-
no, you're good.
Yeah,
I
yeah, no, I get
I
what you're
needed to be
saying.
cut off there. I needed to be
So,
cut off.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The whole thing is just disgusting. You don't force people to do things. That's it's like what we talk about all the time. It's force. It's not voluntary, like what your thing was. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and I know.
Like I don't. It's like we don't even. It's like this is what happens all the time on social media with us. All of us, pretty much. It's like someone puts something and says something, and we go, "Is it government? Is it state? Is it control?" Yeah, okay, I'm against it. It's like,
well, how could you possibly be against it? It's like good for the fucking collective.
right?
Yep. Don't like that either.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
So it's kind of like one of these things. It's like, like they've been bringing this up as long as I can remember.
For a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that was the reason why we had all the problem in Vietnam, because half the fucking, or over half the people, whatever the number is, they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to be there.
It was because of the draft,
yeah,
right?
And you didn't have a voluntary force. Now you have a voluntary force, they want to go do that. You know what I mean? They sign up knowing what they're getting into.
Yeah.
They're not being pulled in and forced to do it.
But how
Yeah,
bad was that for
different.
them when they were forced to go over there? And it's like you're forced to go to a war. Because I actually had an uncle that went. And
But he went voluntarily, or he got drafted?
No, he got drafted.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, I mean, can you imagine, dude, you got to go. And this is right around 9/11 that he told me this after my, you know.
Right.
So it's like, hey, can you imagine if they sat there and told you, like, hey, you got to go do this? And it's like, but I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Fuck it, you got to go do it.
You still got to do it. Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
It's against the law if you
It's
don't.
against the law if
Well,
you don't.
and that's why they had all those problems in Vietnam. That's literally why they had all
That's
those.
why they were going around, dude, raping women, killing
Right.
kids, and I mean, atrocities of war happened then. And why? Because they didn't want to be there. So if you don't want to be there, you're going to do whatever you can to try to get out.
Yeah. Or you just don't give a fuck because you don't want to be
and
there.
you don't. And I've met veterans and Vietnam veterans where, dude, the guy was like literally missing his fucking fingers and shit, and it's like told me never join the military. And it's like, wow, really, like that? He goes, every day you see me on this bus, which was like my whole high school, stand taking the bus, going to and from school. Finally, in my senior year, he tells me this story. Don't join because guess what? You see me on this bus for how long? I'm going to the VA to try to get my benefits. How long has the war been over? I'm like, fuck,
Yeah, well, that's why they passed a law to undo the whole draft because they were having problems with this whole thing with the war. So it's like, why do you want to have it back? This stupid fuck doesn't learn from fucking history. Pull your fucking head out of your ass. It's like, oh, what are you doing? You're sucking the Trump suckers all following this whole thing. Oh, yeah, mandatory service, blah, 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 blah. Like, get the fuck out of here.
But we don't have a fucking problem with the lack of people joining the fucking army.
No,
like,
we don't.
holy shit. And the fact that, like, Trump was fucking, he said that he had bone spurs or whatever the fuck. That's why he didn't get into the military. He tried, but he couldn't because he had bone spurs. Yeah, get fucked, dude. Yeah. There's already people calling him out, being like,
Clinton
was
was
the
a
fucking
draft
X-rays
dodger,
then.
too.
You could have drove a truck.
Yeah,
Trump, you could have drove a truck.
Yeah, you could have done whatever the fuck. Don't make up excuses. I have never served because I said I don't want to fucking serve.
Yeah,
It's really that easy. Like, I'm not going to be a fucking
cool.
asshole about it and be like, oh, I had an excuse. No, I said fuck that. I don't want to do that shit. Are you kidding me? That sounds like a fucking nightmare. The fucking life that our fucking veterans have served overseas, and then the life they have to serve back
when
home.
they come back, dude.
Holy
it's horrible.
shit! It sounds like a fucking night. Oh, you got a new truck. Fucking nice. Enjoy your PTSD and your fucking
And the shrapnel on your
fucking
fucking
benefits,
hip.
dude. Like, sorry, like fucking, thank you for all that you've done, but it's like, no, it's not for me. I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'd rather work on computers.
Well, yeah, and then it goes into a whole nother level of things, too, is like where you don't agree with the administration that is implementing the war or whatever policies. It's like, now you're forced to do that. So, like, for the people that watch this show that are on the right or the left side of politics, if you were against Obama and you had to go to war, forced to go to war for him or whatever, you would be pissed off. If you like George Bush or Trump or whatever, and I mean, you didn't like them and you were a liberal, but you were serving in the military and you were forced to go do that, you would have a shit fit too. So it's like you're forcing people on the opposite ends to do things they don't want, or you're like us and we don't even want to participate in your bullshit.
Yeah, and
It's fucking forcing people.
So to piggyback off what I just said, like, I'm not anti-veteran. I have lots of family members that are
Much
military.
love to the vets.
Yeah,
love
I'm
you
not
guys.
anti-veteran, okay? I'm not anti-military. It's just that, like, I'm anti-establishment, if that makes any sense. I don't like the establishment that exists that keeps the military in place. That's what I have a problem with. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. I have a little different take, but I'm not going to go there right now.
I think we should.
I just personally, I have the problem with, with any government agent. So it could be a military person, it could be a law enforcement, it could be a politician, it could be anything. But you guys are part of the system. You have that. You guys are basically funded by theft. So let's just start at the basics. Think about it. Now, I'm not saying that people that have served and all that, I respect that the stuff that you guys train and do, and it's fucking hard work. I know a lot of you guys that do that, and I have respect for a lot of the individuals. However, a lot of you guys just don't understand, or you haven't looked into it and thought of it that way. You haven't even thought hey, if I am even taking it out, you're doing a political type, you're in an office of some sort for the government, right? You are still funded by theft. If you are a teacher, you are funded by theft. You are doing the wrong thing. Think about it. If you didn't know that before that, I'm not blaming you. But if you know that now, it's on you.
And I can agree with that.
A lot of people don't think of it that way.
But here's the thing. Like, it's not necessarily like, yeah. Okay, so individuality is ultimately what we preach around here, right? Mm-hmm. Now, those people are doing those jobs because they've never been taught that, like, it's up to them as people to do the right thing. So they haven't really thought about.
Well, that's what I was saying. That they haven't even thought of it in that perspective.
Yeah,
that they're being funded by theft.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. This is a total fucking echo chamber here. I guess I got to wrap my own head around it, because it's like, I don't hate them as individuals, or I don't dislike them as individuals. However, as individuals, they need to be held accountable for the decisions that they've made. And the decision that they've made is to work off of theft from me. And that's, I don't know.
And then that's where that brings it into this whole thing. What we were just talking about is, like, now you're forced to do that. So if you didn't agree with that and you have the choice to not participate, but now the draft comes in, now you're forced to do that.
And you have to. Yeah.
So it's a fucking crazy thing. And then people are going to argue, who's going to protect your freedom? Who's going to do that? Well, that goes into the whole nother can of worms, why I didn't want to fucking talk about it, because basically we should be Minutemen.
Yeah.
We are the
Me.
ones that are supposed to be ready with our, responsible for ourselves.
Take away the fucking regulations on my ability to defend myself
Which goes-
and my loved ones, and then holy shit, now you have me. I can fucking take care of myself and the people
Which
near
goes
me.
back into the first topic about the gun stuff that we were all talking about before, regulating the guns. If we all were able to have what we needed to defend ourselves and our friends and our family and our loved ones, then that way we could actually step up and be that next gap. I mean, the country was pretty much founded on that whole militia and able to have Minutemen. You get your kit, you're responsible for it, and you're ready to go out the door in 1 minute and do what you got to do to protect your area or your house or your community or whatever. And that was the way it was kind of set up. It wasn't supposed to. A lot of the founding fathers didn't want to have a fucking standing army. So start learning what our country kind of founded on. Because I'm not totally for the whole founding fathers and all that stuff completely. I've called it a piece of paper before. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It is what it
The
is.
Constitution.
But they still were the closest thing that we had to a true freedom society, I would say, in recent history.
And this is one of the things that we talk about a lot too. Is that what we need to do is get it. It needs to regress back to a certain state before we can move forward.
Downsizing.
So it's not that we have all the solutions. It's not that we know exactly where to go from here. But all that we do know is that from here, government needs to get smaller. And then from that point, then we can start having conversations about where we go from there.
Well, we do
right?
know that, yeah, absolutely. We do know this. We know that all government is funded by force. Government is force. That's what we know. And what do we not like? Anyone controlling us. Freedom first.
So it's pretty safe to say, from my standpoint, is pretty much like be an agent of chaos, break the system down,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then from the ashes we form something new.
Mm-hmm. You're the more extreme end of it where you just want it to collapse kind of thing, or what?
Well, I know this. I know we're not going anywhere on the track that we're on now.
We're going nowhere fast, basically,
So
except
my
for
thing
control.
Is, so why don't we just reset the system and we learn from our mistakes?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. This asshole clearly didn't learn his
No.
Yeah. So that's the problem. People, we've talked about this before too, is that people don't think, they just repeat the narrative that's being put in front of them by media or other politicians. They just repeat. It's like an echo chamber, and they're not getting anywhere.
And
they're not
another thing,
thinking.
And if everybody was able-bodied and willing to be, in the militia and all, everything else, don't you think that it would be a hell of a lot harder to invade a country
Because everyone.
because everyone is all about their shit than it is about going off to
Sweden.
somewhere? Yeah.
Every blade
Israel,
of grass.
they're all, but they are mandatory service. But nonetheless, if everyone was armed and they all had their, you know what I mean, they're mandatory. But however, it's the same example, is that if we were all voluntarily armed and trained, and hey, let's go meet out next week and go shooting and run some drills and whatever. Okay, cool. Tons of people would want to do that.
Dude, what people don't
Is that
understand
an
is
open
that is-
invitation?
That's part of fucking American culture.
Yes, it is.
And it hasn't. I mean, no, I'm not gonna lie. It always kind of has been, and you can kind of associate that with the more redneck or the fucking Southern style, whatever the fuck. But I mean, it is what it is. We like our guns, and we fucking want them to shoot as many bullets as we can, as fast as we can, and fucking sorry, not sorry. That's what I want, and fuck, dude. That's the reason why Japan didn't want to fucking do a full full ground assault in America, right? Because there's a gun behind every blade of grass, they said. So it's fuck people trying to take that away, but just realize that is kind of part of our culture, and there's still some people that kind of dig that kind of a thing. And it's not I'm not trying to be a dick, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just want to have guns. And I want to have whatever the fuck guns
Freedom,
that I
bro.
can afford. Dude, holy shit. Everyone's like, oh, you going to have fucking nukes and shit? And I'm like, yeah, but what are the chances of me in my lifetime ever being able to afford a nuclear fucking
Thank
weapon?
you.
Are
Or
you
a
out of your
fucking tank,
goddamn
dude.
mind? Straight up.
Or a
No.
tank.
Yeah.
Or a tank. I could never buy a fucking tank.
If you could own a tank, would you? It's fuck no, I would not own a tank.
The killdozer.
Yeah, I would own a tank. Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, but holy fuck, that was years and years of investment and
Yeah,
labor.
yeah.
That guy fucking for years he worked on that shit. That was that had to be a fucking $200,000, $300,000 fucking
yeah, he
vehicle.
put a hell of time and money into that.
You know, one of those things by themselves cost.
all for a few
100,000.
hours of fun.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. Holy shit. I'm just saying. don't fucking worry about what I can have, because literally what I can have is always up to what I can afford, and I'm a fucking blue collar fucking worker, and Jesus Christ, that means that I'm maybe lucky enough to own an AR-15 at some point in my
Jamie's
life.
tank is what I posted, that one meme with the shopping cart with the with the 50 cal on it or whatever it was.
The M30 on it or whatever.
Yeah, Jamie's technical.
The fucking shopping cart.
Coming in.
And I stole it. So it is what it is.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Fuck Target,
God damn.
Yeah, the first shopping cart technical.
Oh, you gonna have nukes? Yeah, I mean, likely no,
but
I
yeah.
should be allowed to
Yeah.
have them. Yeah. I would like the right to have nukes. That's really all I'm fighting for here, is the right to own nuclear
But the
weapons.
founding fathers didn't know the technology and advancement.
What
Yeah,
about your
well-
First Amendment speech? What about your fucking freedom of speech, dude? They didn't think.
Fucking take your
fucking-
smartphone out and step on it, and then tell me how you feel about that.
But here, dude. But I don't think people know just how much guns cost.
They fucking don't. Dude, part of the argument that I had earlier today was like, the guy was like, oh, I could just walk into a gun store right now and buy a gun.
Let's be fair. This guy thought pistols were called Glocks. Just saying. I was the asshole,
I
not
know,
Jamie.
Yeah, I know. He did. And I wasn't. And
He's trying to be nice.
I
This
responded.
sounds like 1990,
Yeah.
like urban
1914.
slang. 1990 early slang, like, oh, I got my Glock, like, dude.
Well, so
you clearly have a Beretta.
In his defense, right? Like, he was like, I think they're called Glocks. Like, it kind of like he obviously had no clue what he was talking about, and I wasn't a dick. I said, yeah.
No, you were good. You were good. I was being a
Glock
dick.
does make a handgun.
Yeah, first
They
off,
do.
if you're going to start fucking coming against our fucking freedoms, know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't even know what a
Please.
goddamn pistol is? Go fuck yourself. That's what I say.
I think it's called the Glock. and it
Absolutely.
shoots-
You want to regulate
shoots
what
shells?
you want to regulate what our freedoms are, and you don't even know about. Like,
here's-
everyone that's against guns never even fucking shot them.
Dude, they didn't even know what a bullet button was.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
DeLeon was
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
if you hit this button, it turns into a
Yeah.
fully automatic
Yeah.
machine gun. And it's like, that is not what it does at all.
It's a fucking
Actually,
idiot.
that ejects the magazine
Yeah,
from
you
the
stupid
fucking frame,
fuck.
you
and
dumb
you have
shit.
to put something sharp in it in order for it to, you can't just hit it.
No, I don't know, man.
I don't even.
know.
I'm done.
Triggered, bro.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta just.
We gotta move on.
Yeah, just fucking get out of this one. Should the police be allowed to search your phone after
Nope.
you get into a car wreck?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So should the police?
Nope.
Exactly. Exactly.
Immediately. It was just like this story. That's why it was so hard to get into it, because it was just like.
But
nope.
here it is, dude. I've noticed basically every new car has a fucking iPad in the console. Every Tesla has a
Yeah.
fucking iPad in the console.
Well, it's not literally an iPad.
right.
It has-
Well,
it's a
but-
tablet. I
I
get
mean,
what
but
you're
it's
saying,
up
but-
there. I mean, it's a distraction.
Yeah.
Well, they yell at people that are changing radio stations. Oh, I got in a car accident because I was changing a radio station. Whatever. It's always distraction of whatever. So they keep putting that technology in the vehicles, but yet they go after you for technology. Like, so it doesn't even make sense, really.
So the way that I look at it, and this is more of like a so I'm gonna give you guys like a utopianist
Go ahead. Yeah.
view of it. So if I were to make a law that were to ban being able to use mobile devices inside your car, instead of that, what I would prefer is for mobile devices to physically not work inside of a car. So
I see
instead
what you're saying.
instead of a law,
'Cause
make
that
it
would be
make
much
it an
easier.
impossibility.
That would be easier.
So instead of like this guy, he's French or Canadian. They're kind of the same.
Yeah, I don't know.
French
The
Canadian.
the Germans
Same
are weird.
shit.
All right.
Same shit.
I think his name is Jacques something.
Yeah,
He's
definitely
he's
German,
A
yeah.
socialist.
Yeah, definitely German.
He was a utopianist. He has he works on Project Venus, and I was really big into that. And he says, if you want to stop people from driving drunk, well, okay, if the car starts to gyrate, you have a unit in there that will pull the vehicle over and stop it, shut it down. Okay, so it makes it an impossibility. So instead of making laws, you can't drive while you're drunk. Your car physically doesn't operate if you're driving a specific way, right? Now, that impedes on freedom. I understand that. But at least now we're saving lives, and it's impossible to...
And they're not telling you can't do this.
Well, so say you voluntarily bought that car with that feature built
Yes.
in.
Yes, exactly.
That would be a whole other situation,
it
right?
is.
Now, instead of putting up a sign that says slippery when wet, why not put abrasives in the pavement so that it isn't slippery when it's wet? Or they make that water soaking concrete. That you guys have seen that shit, right?
Hell yeah.
Holy shit, right? So instead of making more laws, more legislation, more bullshit, you just take these incidents and you make them impossible.
Free market.
Would fucking solve the goddamn problem, wouldn't it?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's all revenue because honestly, do you really need a car that goes over the speed limit?
Yes.
But freedom.
But freedom.
Yeah.
But do you need a
Maybe
You don't need a lot of things.
No, you don't.
Maybe.
But do I want?
Yeah.
I want
Yeah,
a lot
so-
of motherfucking things.
So Aaron, maybe nobody needs a car that goes over the speed limit. Maybe there's a set of lanes on the freeway where I voluntarily go on that go fucking faster than the speed limit allows. You know what I
No,
mean?
You were so excited
no.
on that story.
Oh, dude.
I'm
Let's
all
do
in
it.
favor of that. My thing is, it's like, dude, there's speed. So if you're gonna have speed limits, why have cars that exceed that?
No, I get what you're saying.
Why not
but
have, like fuck, dude.
fucking goddamn government shit,
Yeah.
man. I can't stand this. Yeah.
I would love a lane that's like, hey, if you could drive over, and if you know how to drive and you can get in this lane
Yeah.
and you could, blast off.
Yeah.
Bro. Fucking more power to you. I want you to get where you're going.
I mean,
now.
it's that whole thing. It's government controlling you. So now you say you can't have a vehicle that goes over that, or you can't have a vehicle that can go off road, or because you're going to destroy the environment, or you can't whatever. Just don't control me. That's just my stance on that whole thing. Stop fucking telling people what the fuck to do. That's my thing.
And you shouldn't be telling people what to do and telling them what not to do. Like in California, you can't change your exhaust pipe.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
change
don't
your
even
sex.
get me fucking started.
My thing
Yeah.
is, dude. I mean, this is all because some schmuck and some Tesla, some hybrid decided, you know what? I don't like these bikes or something like that going past me so fast. It hurts my ears.
What it was is a bunch of elitist liberals living in their fucking gated communities. They don't like cars driving by that people work on and stuff and do custom work to their own vehicles. So they get all utopian control freak out, and then they want to control
It's for emissions, for the environment.
Oh,
while they drive their fucking 12 mile to the
or
gallon fucking
noise
bullshit.
pollution. It
Yeah, get
ruins
fucked.
yeah. So
But another thing. Did you guys see the story to where you guys see the the dinosaur, the Flintstones house over?
yes, I did see that story.
Did you, and it's an eyesore, and it's like that. Dude, that house has
To
been there
who?
for how long? That house has been there for how long?
Yeah, so it's like basically like for the people who didn't see it, it's just like it was like a couple different. It looked like it was a couple different structures together, and it looked kind of like a Flintstones house.
Honestly,
kind of thing.
it's really cool to look at.
And didn't it have like a lot of property around it
It
too?
did. It had a lot of properties where it's like, dude.
It wasn't like you're in a residential neighborhood and it's like your next door house all of a sudden is this weird fucking thing.
It's like Pee-wee's Play. It's like you roll up to your house and it's like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like, oh shit, what the fuck? No, it's not like that. It's like you roll up to your house and mind you have an acre, probably more than an acre on your property. So it's like, why are you concerned about this other person on their own property with their own house?
Because they're not fitting the mold.
Oh, it doesn't look aesthetic as
So
as
agenda
everything
driven.
else.
All right.
Get fucked.
Let people be people. Let people be expressive individuals, like you always tell kids they could be. You could be, progressive. You could be individual. You could be creative and all that other stuff. But yet, when they get older, you tell them you can't do that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, they do that all the time.
Well, when we all get older, we all realize we can't do that. That's just
honestly,
the cynicism of being an adult.
Right.
I would love to dress up as a T-Rex, walk around as a T-Rex.
I am a
say,
T-Rex.
I'm a T-Rex. But if I did that, you would commit me.
Speaking of T-Rex, Johnny,
Here we go.
Well,
look at this motherfucker,
yeah.
dude.
So we would say stay out of the water that we always do, but this is just in a drainage ditch, and it was a 700-pound, 13-foot alligator. I was gonna say crocodile, but alligator. They found.
It's
Wow,
a dinosaur.
It's
It's
a-
a
yeah.
dinosaur.
How do you tell if it's an alligator or a crocodile?
the snout.
Like the snout is...
So you tell because
Oh, there's a joke.
he'll either say after a while crocodile
Oh,
or
yeah.
see you later alligator.
I thought that was your
Yeah,
thing.
good.
That was your
It
thing.
is. It is my thing. I think we proved why. Oh my God,
I'm
Jamie!
sorry. Jamie, I'm sorry. I did
Jamie,
not,
stay in your lane.
I didn't see that coming from you.
I know.
I didn't see that coming.
Oh
It was like,
man, no!
I normally don't do that.
I was like, what
Sorry.
the fuck? I knew it was a joke. I was just like, what is this?
No,
I was trying to go science on it right there. I was like, the snout is like,
terrible, terrible joke, terrible dad joke.
Being serious.
That was a knee slapper.
Being serial. Like,
That was a knee
damn.
slapper.
So yeah,
You're welcome.
This is just scary. Like you're just walking along, like
13 fucking feet.
You
dude.
would think, right, that you're in like this looks like a fucking normal trail, bro, and then this monster is just chilling there. This is unbelievable.
He's hanging out.
How fast do they go? Because I know the small ones go pretty fucking fast. So this big motherfucker's got. Did you see that?
On land, they can go. They can sprint for. I can't remember
Yeah.
how far it is, but like it's like 30 feet or something like that, and they
Like-
can go at
Like how they put
fucking
massive
fast.
in
Oh, yeah.
quotation
Yeah.
marks, like it's not fucking massive.
700
They're all,
pounds.
it's massive. Like, no, you didn't need to
Yeah,
fucking put that in quotation
Yeah,
marks.
700 pounds is like 2 Kennys. So I mean, that's
Dude,
fucking
there was
big.
literally a movie about this, like Primal Fear or something like that, to where these people go to like Africa or something, and it's like there's this giant crocodile, and it's chasing this dude on land, and it's like this guy is running, and this thing is like swooping on it, and it's like, fucking hey.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, so those things are fast. So I mean, people say stay out of the water. You know what? Just stay away. You know, just away from.
Yeah,
the
over there,
shore.
that in Africa that would be croc, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
crocodiles. So
Sure, but
fuck.
Depends on what he says.
Souls.
Boom-ts.
I was just like,
Yeah.
really? That's the
yeah,
joke?
yeah. Now you know how I feel.
That's
every
the joke.
fucking time. Every fucking time.
I thought there was a
Do you
punchline
do you
after.
kind of want to kill yourself? 'Cause that's how I
Kinda.
feel every time you make
Just-
one of those fucking
just a
jokes.
little bit.
Yeah. So there, you're welcome.
Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, we can't even say stay out of the water on this one. I'm kind of, I mean, the drainage ditch does have water, but it looks like it's dry season because we get to see this picture in color. So it does look freaking dry as fuck to me.
I'm scared.
Just,
Either way,
just be
I don't
alert.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
stay
head on a swivel.
And this guy's
Stay
just
on
chilling
yellow.
by it like it's no fucking.
Stay on yellow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm like, is it dead?
Yeah.
Did they kill it?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
holy
pretty sure
fuck.
it's alive. So,
That's fucking crazy.
alrighty. So,
I'm
what
gonna
do
go
we
and
got?
hit you guys with
Anything
the
else?
wrap up.
Yeah.
I'm
All right,
good
so
on
like,
that.
subscribe, share. Check us out on the YouTube, the Facebook,
Pornhub,
Pornhub.
Aaron's
SoundCloud.
favorite, apparently.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
SoundCloud.
He's excited for it. SoundCloud. So and we're gonna be getting on the Instagram here pretty quick here. So Jamie's got an intruder.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Let's get the wrap
All right,
up.
folks. So same as last week. Don't talk shit about Taco Bell, asshole. Come on. How many times we got to say it?
Yeah.
All right. Don't lick
Yeah.
toilets, asshole. Like, come on. That's
That's,
fucking
how you
like-
get, that's how you get dysentery. That's how you go to the
It
hospital.
is.
And
Yeah,
get
it sounds like a
Yes.
staph infection
Licking
to me.
asshole.
Yeah. So on the Jurassic Park front, if you can, should you, asshole?
Think about it.
Really,
just
think about
because
it.
we can.
All right.
Should we?
So stop making laws, asshole. What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, I'm colorblind, asshole.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, just so you know, mountain bikes are scary, asshole. Like, what the fuck, dude? You guys see that guy go end over end in the water?
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
No,
Dude, fuck microchips, asshole. We don't need them.
we don't need control. No, or tracking or whatever.
Get out of my texts, asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talking to you,
Yeah.
Mr. Police. And stay the fuck out of the water
Yes.
or the drylands
yeah.
in this
yeah.
point.
Drainage ditches. Yeah.
Either way, you're an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
There it is.
Asshole.
Yeah. Alligators are assholes.
Yeah, I like that. Yep, they sure are.
Yeah.
Or crocodiles.
We all keep just looking at the picture.
Whatever he says. Whatever he says.
Alrighty.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much again for joining us. This has been episode number 30 of the Grim 86 Freedom First podcast. We'll catch you guys again next time. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.